Who is SIGRID TASIES? A liberation initiator. A woman deeply devoted to truth and to the feminine, here to remind all women how to live and lead from deep embodiment, abundance, freedom, and pleasure. I am known as an embodiment and leadership master coach, a modern medicine woman, an author, and podcast host. And those who know me closely would also say that I am an artist and a humanitarian at heart. Almost a decade ago, I went through a breakup that brought a lot of old wounds and insecurities to surface. And I started suffering from really strong anxiety, which made it quite impossible to ignore the fact that something wasn't working for me. I decided to look for help and hired what I thought at the time was a psychologist, but was actually a coach. The work I did with her helped me to realize that I had choices and I could live by design versus living the life that I was living by default. So I quit my job and I moved to Australia and eventually became a yoga and meditation teacher, continued working with my coach and training as a coach. I did countless daily rituals and read all of the personal development books I could find. And overall, I ticked the boxes and I did all the right things. And surely it helped. However, there was a deeper part of me that I couldn't access. No matter how much work I did on myself and how many things I achieved, the truth is I still didn't feel I was enough. There was a part of me that thought that something wasn't right, something in me needed to be fixed, and that maybe I could find that behind another workshop, another coaching certification, or another book. Maybe more followers, cooler friends, money, something outside of myself. And the more I tried to fill the void, the worse it got, because I kept thinking that something was wrong with me. And this, of course, showed up in every single area of my life. How I felt and thought about myself, my relationships, and of course, my leadership. And knowingly, I kept most of the things I truly wanted at a distance. On paper, things were great. However, I didn't feel safe to be fully myself and to allow others to truly see me. And this went on until one day I met a really embodied leader. After a sporadic spiritual awakening, I was recommended to attend a ceremony, and the person that was leading the ceremony was the most embodied and accepting human I have ever met. Her way of being called me forward in the most profound and inspiring, loving way, through example. I was so deeply impacted by that from that moment forward, I traveled the world sitting in hundreds of ceremonies with Indigenous elders and spiritual leaders, learning and doing many embodiment and leadership trainings with mentors that were deeply embodied. These leaders were not behind the dollar signs or the external success or praise, even though many had that. They were all about service. They had a strong vision for humanity and the earth, and that was their driver. They felt fully grounded in themselves, as if they had understood their worth to a whole other level, their divine duty to a whole other level. I realized this was what had been missing for me: embodiment. All the work I had done had supported me. However, it had not helped me to come home to myself fully. And that got in the way of me leading truly from my why. Experiencing the level of depth, purpose, and compassion that these mentors had rocked my world. And that in themselves woke me up to the leader and medicine woman within me. I was met with the truth that we aren't broken, and there is nothing more badass we can possibly do than fully accepting ourselves. And that if doing the work doesn't help us feel more free, then the work isn't truly working. This is when I realized what it means to be a truly embodied leader, to serve a greater purpose versus serving just our wounded egos. And I learned to move out of performative wounded leadership into embodied leadership. And when I started living from this space, everything shifted. The way I carried myself and the depth of my devotion. And as a result, my relationships and the impact I create through my work. I was able to grow my organization from 0 to multiple 6 figures and accomplish some epic things like coaching hundreds of people, publishing a book, speaking and hosting workshops in multiple continents of the world, hosting my podcast, SIGRID Leaders, which has ranked in over 25 countries, releasing a medicine music album, and transitioning my focus to the creation and expansion of SIGRID Leaders Foundation, a not-for-profit organization supporting humanity and the earth with its projects. And really, most importantly, learning to truly love and accept myself. Being in a beautiful, sacred union relationship with my partner, Brad, and attracting incredible friendships, all while remaining deeply devoted to my spiritual path and living from a much more grounded and potent space. There's a lot of coaching and personal development out there, but if we aren't coming at it with the right intentionality, it really doesn't matter how much work we do. Because we can keep on searching for more success and more fame and more money or love and keep trying to fix or improve ourselves forever. It is not until we learn to truly accept and trust ourselves that we can be truly happy and truly successful. This is why I do what I do. More than just coaching programs, courses, and retreats, my containers are sacred initiations, where I support female leaders, entrepreneurs, visionaries, and coaches to initiate themselves into the most embodied, liberated, authentic, and powerful version of themselves. My biggest prayer is for all beings to be free from suffering, for all of us to live in harmony with one another and with the earth, to live in abundance and access our ultimate potential. And I see feminine embodied leadership playing such a big role in this, because when a woman can remember her worth, trust and know her place, trust herself, she remembers her way back to wholeness. And when women remember that they are whole, they are able to nurture the world back into wholeness. It is our time to embody our womanhood, our power, our liberated expression, to live and lead from embodiment, abundance, freedom, and pleasure. It is our birthright, and it is available to all of us, also to you.